everyone, I'm Nancy Gaetano, and today I'm going to show you how to make my simple spinach and potato frittata, a recipe my mother-in-law showed me how to make. Now, frittata is an omelet. It looks similar to an omelet. It just takes the size of a fry pan, and or a lot of people may say it looks like a quiche. It's an egg dish that you can add anything to. It's similar to an omelet. A lot of people will ask what a frittata is. Well, that's what it is. I'm going to make my spinach and potato with some sauteed onions. It's very quick and easy. Under 25 minutes, you can make this frittata. And I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. So let's move on to the ingredients that you need for this recipe.
Okay, here are the ingredients. I have 120 grams of baby spinach that I've washed and I'll be boiling later. A small onion, 2 small potatoes, or you can use a large potato, 8 eggs, salt and pepper for seasoning. That's it. I'm going to list these ingredients in the description box down below for you. Moving on to the stove, I have a pot with boiling water here, and I'm going to boil the spinach. You can also saute your spinach. I like to boil it. So the water is boiling. I'm just going to season it with some salt, and you can season it to your liking. Next, I'm going to pour the baby spinach into the water. Once it's all in there, you're going to let it boil. Just give it a quick mix, let it boil for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And then once it's boiled, you're going to remove it out of the saucepan. You want to remove all that water. So I'm placing all the baby spinach into a strainer. Let that water just strain through the strainer. So now that it's in there, I'm going to set it aside and move on to the next step. All right, moving on to the onion. I cut it in half, and I'm simply dicing it into little cubes. And I left the stem on it so it can hold the onion, so it's easier for me to dice. So as you can see, I'm just simply dicing the onion into little cubes here. And then what I'm going to do is place it aside on a side plate and move on to the other half, and then I'll move on to the potatoes. And of course, I'm going to show you how to cut those. Now, this onion will give this frittata such delicious flavor. You don't want to miss out on that. So I'm just going to place it here on the side, move on to the potato. Let me show you how I do that. So I'm cutting them into long strips and then little thinner strips. I want little cubes of the potato. That way it's easier to fry the potato. So I'm going to simply cut them in little long strips as I'm doing here, and then I'm going to take them and cut them into cubes. Here we go, and I'll move this aside. Here we go, cubes, just like that. I'm just going to finish cutting the potatoes and placing it on the side plate, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, I have the potatoes and onions chopped up. Let's move on to the next step. Moving on to the eggs, in a medium-sized bowl, I'm going to break the 8 eggs. And then once I have all the eggs in there, I'm going to season it with salt and pepper, and you can season it to your liking. All right, I have my seasoning in there. Going to give these eggs a nice mix. Once you have the eggs all mixed up, you're ready to move on to making the frittata. Let's move on to the stove for the next step. Moving on to the stove, I have a 9-inch fry pan, turning on the heat, and I'm placing half a cup of vegetable oil. Now you want to heat that vegetable oil enough to fry your potatoes. I'm going to start off first by placing the potatoes right into the fry pan. Place them all in there. And once you have your potatoes in there, you want to leave them for about 6 to 7 minutes until they're almost cooked or fried. And at that point, once they're fried, you want to keep moving them around because you want the browning to happen on both sides. And at that point, you're going to add your onions. So you want to add your onions when your potatoes are almost cooked through. You want to give that a mix. And now at this point, this is where I add the seasoning. So I want to mix it together, combine it, and I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to give that a quick stir now that I've added the seasoning of the salt. I'm going to mix it together. I don't want the onions to burn. I want them to soften. So another 2 to 3 minutes. All right, now the onions have softened. I'm going to add the spinach that I boiled earlier right into the pan. Now that I have the spinach in the pan, all I'm doing is simply breaking it together, spreading it out evenly with the onions and the potatoes. Now I'm ready to add the eggs. So I'm going to mix up the eggs, pour it all on top of the spinach, the potatoes, and the onions. And all I'm doing here with the spoon is spreading it out. So that way, when the frittata is ready, I have a little bit of the potato, the spinach, and the onion in each bite. So all I'm doing here is just creating little wells in the center so the raw egg can sip to the bottom and cook. And then I'm going to shake up the pan and check the other side of the frittata to see if it's ready. If it starts browning, you're ready to flip it over. And of course, I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, I'm going to check on the frittata on one side, see if it's ready to be flipped over. Another minute and it'll be ready to flip. Now I'm ready for the flip. I'm going to take the dinner plate, place it right on top of the frittata, and then place my left hand on top of the plate to hold it and flip the pan. And there we have one side of the frittata ready. And I'm going to slide it back onto the pan. Just like that. I have a little potato. Let me get it in there. And another 3 minutes and my frittata will be cooked on the other side. And the way you know that your frittata is ready is you just take it and slide it just like that. And I'm just going to take my spatula and just check to see if it's browning. Definitely ready. Now I'm going to take my dinner plate, place it back on the frittata, flip it, and voila. Here is my spinach and potato frittata. It's fluffy, delicious, and easy to make.
And there you have it, everyone. That's my spinach and potato frittata. Super easy to make. Under 25 minutes, you can have this frittata done. Now, this is a recipe that my mother-in-law showed me how to make. Not specifically the spinach and potato. There's so many ways of making a frittata, or as you call it in English, an omelet. Very tasty. If you don't feel like cooking and you want something whipped up really quick, this frittata is perfect. And now it's time to cut into it. And I have to show you how I eat it. You can eat it with some bread. You can cut some of the frittata and put in some fresh bread. Or you can just eat it in itself. But it's almost as if I eat it like a pizza. So, here it goes. Wow, so good. So delicious, so full of flavor. You taste the spinach, the onion, the potato, and of course the egg. This combination is so perfect and so easy to make. I hope you all enjoyed my spinach and potato frittata. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care.